All right, so we're just going to quickly talk about the analysis here, and then I've got to move into the next thing that we're doing. That's what we have the Chromebooks for. It's actually not to work on the lab report today because you had time to do that on Friday, okay, when we started it. So what we got to look at here is the analysis. Okay, we did all the other stuff on Friday, but we didn't get a chance to talk about the analysis. So there's 3 analysis questions. Okay, the first question is just calculating the amount of water that your plant took up. So initial volume minus final volume, and you've got your change in volume. Okay, you don't need to necessarily compare with other groups, but I want to see your calculation of your final volume for question number 1. Okay. And I need you to explain any differences between the initial and final volumes. Basically, what happened to it? What do you think happened to it? Where'd it go? Okay. Number 2, what evidence do you have that water followed the path discussed in class? Explain. So basically, this is me asking you, tell me what the path of water is as it flows through the plant. What structures does it go through? All right, we've talked about how plants transport water. We've talked about osmosis, okay, the layers of the leaf, the xylem, the phloem, all of that, the stomates, all of that stuff. Okay, make sure you work all of those things into your answer. You're basically just kind of regurgitating from your notes here. Here's where water goes when it goes through a plant until it evaporates. Okay, that's what you're telling me in question number 2. So, you know, a few sentences. And then for number 3, this is kind of an osmosis question. So let's say we repeat this experiment, but instead of using tap water, we use salt water. What's going to happen? You tell me. Okay, based on what you know of how plants transport water, osmosis, if we put them in salt water, what would change about the experiment? Okay, even if we dyed the salt water, what would happen to the plant if we put it in salt water and tried to replicate this experiment that way? Okay, so have your justifications in there. There's got to be some explanation. You can't just write the plant will die. Okay, or the plant will grow like, you know, mutants, okay, whatever, you got to have an explanation, okay? Conclusion, same as always, restate your hypothesis, explain why you accept or reject it, so copy paste and then, you know, talk about what you saw. Was the dye in your leaf, okay, did the water volume go down, does that mean that you were right about how it transported its water, okay? Sources of error, think of anything conditional that might have gone differently in this classroom over the weekend that could have possibly affected the rate at which your plant may have transported water, okay? And then the class discussion, you don't have to do that. We'll talk about that when I hand back the labs, okay? The labs are due, what did I say, Thursday? What is it in there, guys? You got it open there. When's it due?
April 8th.
April 8th. So yeah, that's Thursday, right?
Friday.
Friday? Okay, Friday. So you got lots of time to get it done. Okay. On that note of lots of time,